Welcome to Sharper Square, part of the volume. This is the show that turns casual bettors into sharper ones. We're back with part 2 of NFL win totals, rolling through every team below the top tier and weighing how this month's wild moves might shift our numbers. So, Simon, which move actually made you want to bet?
Minnesota swinging for Kyler is pure upside with the best coach he's had and a clear prove-it-year mindset. Baltimore walking back the Max Crosby trade after the physical was smart roster hygiene, and pivoting to Trey Hendrickson fits their timeline. The Crosby saga itself was the most shocking wrinkle of the offseason.
I love how the Ravens handled it. Crosby would have been a 2 to 3 year window, while Hendrickson still gives them juice without the risk. Back to Minnesota, if the QB whisper effect hits again, that 8.5 is interesting, especially with plus money creeping in.
I like the Vikings over at plus odds while it lasts. Kyler in a contract type year is the version you want to back, and I expect that price to flip to the minus side closer to kickoff.
NFC North is suddenly spicy. Love Kyler, Caleb, and Goff, while Detroit's line issues push me toward an underlean. Rapid fire at the bottom. Arizona 4.5 under, Miami 4.5 under, Raiders 5.5 under, Jets 5.5 alt under. If the market lets me.
I'm with you on most of those. The Raiders at least look like they'll try, while some of these others feel content to chase the top of the draft. The Jets are so messy they could stumble to a few wins by accident, but I still see a very low ceiling.
Well, it's goodness, 6.5. I took the over early and still think the division alone can float them.
Tread lightly, first place schedule, and a number that screams trap. Your early number was fine, but I wouldn't make it a big position.
Cleveland and Tennessee, both at 6.5, feel rich, and I don't buy a Deshaun leap back to peak form.
I only like Cleveland as a long shot price, not a conviction. At 6.5 in that division, the under is safer. Tennessee might get a new coach bump, but there are too many holes to love anything yet.
Quick hits Atlanta, 7.5 over lean. New Orleans, 7.5 fascinates me because they can evaluate shoot without mortgaging the future.
Atlanta has real upside, but I'm not tying up money in March. New Orleans is high variance. I'd rather play alt ladders both ways than the flat number, which feels high.
Giants, 7.5 looks like pure Harbaugh bounce, and the roster still has big questions at QB durability, receiver health, and the front.
That's one of my favorite unders. QB style invites hits. The division's a gauntlet, and I'd have hung 5.5, not 7.5.
Washington, 7.5 is an over lean for me, with Daniel set for a full year and a defense that should at least climb to average.
I lean under. Tough division, and I still question the line and whether their moves meaningfully shifted the floor.
Dallas, 8.5 over. I trust the offense to Hume, and if the defensive tweaks land, they can clear it in a soft pocket of the schedule.
Pros hit that over already. Offense is fine with elite receiver play, but it comes down to Dak's health and whether the defense actually got fixed. If it climbs to 9.5, I'd rather fade there. Receiver nitpick while we're here. I'd take CD over Chase on effort and consistency, but we're splitting hairs among stars.
Colts, 8.5 under. QB recovery timeline and mobility concerns